various locations via the miracle of Skype. It's the 40th anniversary season of the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing, co-hosts Brian Schmidt, PJ Noodleman, and producer Dangerous Dan Margetta. Call the show anytime at 414-421-7901. And now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
Hello there. We're if you don't listen very often, you have picked a good program to tune into today. Hello there, everyone. Todd Bailing in Greendale, Wisconsin. My partners are not as spread out as they usually are. First of all, PJ is back home in Trempealeau, Wisconsin. Hi, PJ.
Hey, I'm excited for the wit and wisdom on today's show, and it's not coming from any of us.
There you go. Perfect way to say it. Dan and Brian are both at Road America for the IMSA WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, and they tell me it's a really big deal.
Yes, it is. Yes, we are here for this afternoon's race, the IMSA Sports Car Weekend here at Road America, which is quickly becoming one of the biggest races in the entire state of Wisconsin this season. So Felipe Albuquerque and Ricky Taylor in their Wayne Taylor Racing Acura will lead the field to the green of 47 cars at 2:10 this afternoon for a 2-hour and 40-minute race.
Yeah, it's a big deal. I mean, a lot of people coming in this morning, just getting in here early. There are already lines coming in here, so it's going to be a big weekend that way. And yeah, it'd be kind of cool to see some exotic sports cars on the road course, and then I'm heading to Slinger tonight.
And speaking of Slinger, we have a couple of ex-Slinger drivers that are going to join us on the program today. During the first break, we're going to get them in here. Matt Kenseth and Robbie Reiser at the same time will join us. We will do some reminiscing and, maybe find out what they're doing with their retirement days. But that's what the program, and neither one has given me any kind of time restraint. So we're going to have them through a couple of breaks, and it should be fun. I think the last time I talked to them at the same time was back in the day when they were raced together. And so that has been some time, and it'll be a big fun for us today. There are a few news items that are going on during the Olympic break, which is what this, I guess we would call this. We find out a couple of things, like, for instance, Juan Pablo Montoya, or as he calls himself, Juan Pablo Montoya, is going to make a comeback. He's going to drive Hamlin's 2311 car. It's going to be number 50 at Watkins Glen. Dan, what was his last race?
I think his last race was the Brickyard 400 in 2014. I was there, and he was going to win that race. He dominated that race to the last pit stop, and they said he was speeding, and he was adamant he wasn't. That was a big deal. I think Jimmy Johnson went on to win the race, but I think that's the last time he was in a car, because he was running a limited schedule at that time.
Oh, all right. He was already on a limited schedule. He didn't get PO'd and just say, I haven't had enough of this.
No, but he was really, really upset. I mean, it was he swore on his wife and kids he didn't speed. I mean, he was really adamant that they were taking a race away from him.
Oh, that's unbelievable. By now you have heard that that the NFL and the Green Bay Packers are going to be playing their first game on a Thursday in Sao Paulo, Brazil. And all of a sudden, Sao Paulo, which of course in Minnesota is pronounced St. Paul, they have requested consideration from NASCAR to host the 2026 Clash. Are you kidding me? This is the home country of Nelson Piquet, who, by the way, was that his daughter or some relation of his that married Daniel Suarez this week?
It's close relation. It may be his daughter. I don't know exactly the case, but Nelson Piquet won an Xfinity race right here at Road America. I think it was 2011, I believe. So.
Well,
I don't know. I mean, they talk about costs in the series, and all you hear him complain about is cost. Well, how much is it going to cost to send all your stuff to South America?
And how is it going to get there?
Yeah. I mean, you could drive there, but boy, that's going to take a long time. And I mean, if you fly all this stuff there, that's really expensive. I don't
costs a lot to get stuff through customs.
Yes.
Good God. And then, of course, you could put everything on a ship like they did where was it, Australia or Japan?
Africa.
Oh, they did both. They went to Japan for a while on that Fuji circuit, and they did Australia back in the late 80s. They ran out there.
Right.
They've done it.
ASA raced in South Africa too once, didn't they?
South Africa. Yeah. That's what I was thinking of.
That's a long-ass way to send a race car or a whole team and all your equipment. And you got to have a lot of stuff to be able to send all of it for that length of time down there and then wait for it to come back. Good God.
They get toll money for that?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Well, this is what we're looking at. It's all part of the logistics. And, the logistics are what NASCAR right now is all got their undies in a bundle about, not just the parent company, but all the teams. They're still in the middle of those hard negotiations. And to add a little more to the pile of things to worry about for the negotiations, NASCAR has apparently agreed to spend upwards of $5 million, which is what they spent the last time that Netflix did that reality documentary deal, and they've so NASCAR's agreed. Okay, we would like to do another one for the 25 season. Well, let's just get the word of that to the teams and see what they think about it without a contract. And so this is all just more thrown on the pile for negotiations. That $5 million, where'd that $5 million, that's what NASCAR put up for the production of that?
Yeah, that's what they spent for last year's one. It did wonders for F1. I mean, look what it did for them in this country. It just exploded for those guys, and they did the first documentary reality type thing. So NASCAR did one similar last year, and it actually did work at the beginning of this year. Ratings were up before Daytona. They put it out, and they want to do it again. The flip side of that is you get behind the scenes access with the drivers, and they got to allow that in, like, into their homes and pretty much into their lives. And for the good of the sport, everybody kind of did it before, but now with the negotiations going on, the drivers are like, well, we're not going to do this unless we got to deal with it.
Why should I do that for you when you're not helping us by negotiating a new deal in good faith? And that's pretty much what it is. Now, as we mentioned, Matt and Robbie will be joining us, and I keep an eye kind of on Facebook. And so those of you, and then there's some 85 people, and that number tends to go up during the program. If you want to throw something out there that I might ask them onto the Facebook page, you can do that. But, of course, you would think by now, after all these years and a whole career and a championship behind them, that we know absolutely everything there is to know about Matt and Robbie. Well, that's not necessarily the case. There's going to be some things that we're going to try and bring up that haven't been asked of them in the past. And, of course, they have they have such a wonderful rapport. When Robbie Reiser showed up when Matt Kenseth was inducted into the NASCAR Hall of Fame, that was priceless. And we're going to be able to get a little more of that fantastic back and forth with them. So I'm pretty excited. I have to go brush my teeth and get all ready because we're getting ready to have two of the greats both. Oh, by the way, I mentioned Matt Kenseth in the NASCAR Hall of Fame, and of course Robbie Reiser is in the Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame, and Matt will be coming into this year's class this year. So I wonder if Robbie will be here to witness that whole thing. Interesting, isn't it? We're glad you're tuned in. I'm going to go gargle and get ready for this one. Matt and Robbie join us after this.
This Saturday night is championship night for the late models at the Fair Park in Plymouth. Point standings are close as the season winds down. Also watch the Sprint Cars, Grand Nationals, and V-Mods as they battle on the Third Mile Oval. The Fair Park in Plymouth, where the racing is great, the food is awesome, and the covered grandstand. Next Saturday, the Legends and Street Stocks make their only appearance of the season. We'll see you there.
Get ready for the return of IndyCar to the Milwaukee Mile.
The NTT IndyCar Series returns to Milwaukee August 30th through September 1st for the Hy-Vee Milwaukee Mile 250s weekend.
Don't miss the first IndyCar event at the historic 1 Mile Oval since 2015, featuring an NTT IndyCar Series doubleheader with races on both Saturday and Sunday. Check out the free fan fun zone with live music, great food, and family fun all weekend long.
Get your tickets now at wistatefair.com and join us for a Labor Day weekend celebration at the Hy-Vee Milwaukee Mile 250s.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Love it. Embrace it. Right now. The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick. You could go back in history and watch one athlete play.
Well, I'd say Babe Ruth.
Any chance it would be disappointing?
But you're right. If I'm watching a baseball game and he goes 1 for 4 with a home run, be like, yeah, okay, he's good.
Catch up old Curly's fastball.
Yeah. The Dan Patrick Show. Dan and the Danettes and you.
Weekday mornings, 8 to 11 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back to LTN, the 40th season of Let's Talk NASCAR. A couple of old friends joining us now, Matt Kenseth and Robbie Reiser from their homes in North Carolina, not Wisconsin where they should be, but there they are, and both of them on the phone with us. You're back in Wisconsin. Guys, great to have you.
Hey, thanks, Todd. That shows how much research you did, because I actually am in Wisconsin right now.
Oh.
He started off the whole show with having, yeah, I mean, he started off the whole show, the first thing he said was wrong.
Yeah, he called us old.
Welcome to my life. Where are you and why are you?
Well, if you remember when you texted me about 4 days ago, I told you that I was coming up, but you must have forgot that already. I don't know what you had going on, but yes, it was my father-in-law's birthday the other night, so we came up for a few days.
Well, nice to have you back.
Todd is getting older, so there is
He must be, because he was texting me Tuesday or Wednesday or something and asked about Wisconsin. I said, yeah, I'll be up there this weekend. It's my father-in-law's birthday. And then he started texting me about cabins in the Dells and all these other things. So he must be very forgetful, which is a little scary.
Yeah. Listen, I'm glad I can find my way to Slinger Speedway 8 times a year. So, leave it at that. A couple of things, the obvious question that's out there is, are you both enjoying your, and I hate to use the R word, but let's face it, your retirement from racing?
Matt, are you retired?
I am.
I don't know if we ever said we were retired, did we?
Well, I think I finally did. I'm retired from professional driving. How about that?
Yeah,
but not really retired from racing. So I'm going to let Robbie jump into this one.
Well, first of all, you're using the term professional pretty loosely.
Well, driving you get paid more. How about that?
You never get. There you go, Matt. That was a good answer. Retirement is a big word. I don't know if you're ever retired. You never say never, Todd. You never say never because something might change.
Well, there are folks that let's Brett Favre, for instance, he retired a couple of times, right?
Yeah, but we never said we retired, so don't compare us to Brett Favre. Well, Matt did. Matt said he's retired that way. I haven't said that. I'm just enjoying my time off.
Yeah, there you go. I never really officially said
Robbie,
it.
what is it that you'd like to do then if you're not retired?
Well, like I told you, you never know. You never say never. Someone might come up with some really crazy plan that sounds cool, and you might want to go do it.
So what would sound cool to you? What would it take for you to want to come back into the fray?
Quit the research. I don't know. Someone would have to tell me something that would sound like it would be interesting, and I'd maybe go do it. Who knows?
Matt has jumped back into a race car once in a while, and Rob, I have hoped that we could have seen you on maybe just a surprise visit at Slinger sometime, because we could get you a race car. It would be kind of fun to take a few laps, wouldn't it?
Sure. I'm not that old. I could still wheel it if I had to, I think.
I asked Toby if we had a car seat that you'd fit into, and he said we might, or he can bring one.
Well, there you go.
All right. Well, you're holding our finger to the fire, and I'm welcoming it. That's pretty good. Do you guys watch the NASCAR races or not?
Who are you asking? Because
Yes.
Matt goes to them. I don't go to them, and I don't watch them very much either. I pay a little bit more attention to the late model stuff that goes on around here, super late models, but a little less on the NASCAR side right now. I did get a tour the other day of the 23X program, and it's a good thing I'm on the outside. I couldn't believe it when I walked through that place to see what the direction it has gone and all the things they got going on. It's pretty impressive.
What about you, man?
What's the question, Todd?
Do you watch the races?
Todd, I'm seriously starting to worry about you just a little bit. So, as you know, I went to work for Legacy Motor Club in I guess officially the first of the year, but kind of started last August or September. So, I'd say yes. Part of my job is going to some of the races, and certainly I follow along.
I just saw that he fired everybody that worked there. I didn't know if you were on the unemployment line or not.
Not yet.
So I do have a question for you, Matt. What is your role like, and how are the drivers about taking any kind of input that you might provide to them? And it must be a little difficult because it is a little bit of a different car, but the basics are probably all the same, right?
Yeah, I mean, as Robbie will tell you, I'm not a technical guy. I'm not really going to make the race cars go faster, so it's not really really anything in my job description. So, but I really enjoy working with both drivers. They're both very, they're different from each other. They both have different strengths and weaknesses for sure. And, I enjoy working with those guys on a weekly basis and being part of that.
So is it more like mindset that you kind of work with them on to kind of keep their head in the game?
I'd say it's just a little bit of everything, honestly. It's from the physical side, the mental side, the personal side, just a little bit of everything really on that. And, I try to help out in some of the competition stuff, when I can, and spend a fair amount of time, talking to Jimmy and kind of, he's not around very often, living overseas. So try to keep in contact with him as much as I can and that sort of thing.
Are you still doing a lot of the biking, cycling?
Just running.
Are you running?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really training for anything here at the moment. So I did in March. I ran the Tokyo Marathon. So that was there's 6 world major marathons, and that was the 6th one. So I ran all those. And since I ran that, I haven't really found another event I really wanted to train for at the moment. So I'm just I train with the drivers a couple days a week in the gym, 2 or 3 days a week, and then the rest of the time I just kind of do what I want, either run or ride or whatever I feel like that day.
Nice.
I just looked up the texts that you were referring to, and you never did tell me you were coming here. I asked you if you sold your place that was somewhere between Madison and Milwaukee, and you said you did. So.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
so.
I could put my spin on the story. You've been doing it for 40 years, I heard.
I got another question then. So, Robbie, you mentioned that you've been kind of paying attention to the super late stuff down there. Matt, I don't know if you have paid much attention to the super lates, but are there any young and up-and-coming drivers that kind of have caught your attention that you think they might be going someplace?
I don't really have a standout. I mean, some of the racing has been a little bit. I'm from old school, right? So I grew up when you couldn't run into everybody as hard as you wanted to run into everybody. So they wreck a lot of stuff in these late models, and they tear up a lot of equipment. And so I don't really have a standout right now. I've been kind of paying attention to it. But the problem is, as soon as you think that there's somebody that's going to really be something, all of a sudden he runs over the top of somebody and wrecks a bunch of cars. So I really don't have I don't have a lot of respect for that because I've had to pay for all my stuff over the years.
Mm-hmm.
But I do enjoy watching the good race, and there's been a couple of them up at Tri-County that have been really exciting to watch. But they do tear up a lot of stuff, that's for sure.
Now,
we got to go to break. But
we're going to break. You guys have both agreed to stick around for a little while, so we have Robbie Reiser and Matt Kenseth, and we'll be back with them right after these.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358. The summer heat is on, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
The NASCAR playoffs begin Sunday, August 25th at the historic Milwaukee Mile. Tickets are on sale now for the Lionel 175 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race. Witness Wisconsin's own Ty Majeski and defending Milwaukee race winner Grant Enfinger race for it all. The Sunday, August 25th NASCAR doubleheader kicks off with the Sprecher 150 ARCA Menard Series at high noon. Tickets start at $40. Kids 12 and under are free. It's NASCAR playoffs time in Milwaukee. Visit MilwaukeeMileRacing.com to get your tickets today.
This is Two Pros and a Cup of Joe.
Yeah, baby. A stunning development in the world of sports. J.J. Redick is the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers.
I mean, what's their other option if it's not J.J. Redick? I'm not going to criticize the hire. Who knows? Maybe J.J. Redick could be a really good head coach.
Two Pros, LeVar Arrington, Brady Quinn, and a Cup of Joe, Jonas Knox.
Weekday mornings 5 to 8 a.m. on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back. PJ was just posing a question that Robbie answered and Matt still has not. And maybe you should ask him in a different way.
Okay. Matt, are there any young up-and-coming drivers either in the Midwest or wherever you're traveling with NASCAR that have caught your eye?
Yeah, well, Todd, I didn't think you wanted Robbie and I to answer that question at the same time. I thought that would make it hard to follow, so I figured I would let him finish first before I answered it.
Thank you, Matthew.
I honestly, I don't watch much late model racing at all. I'm pretty much kind of out of that scene, all the racing stuff. You know, obviously I'm busy with my family and the ages of all the kids and grandkids and everything we got going on there. So the time I do dedicate to racing, I'm watching more on the NASCAR side and kind of what we have going on Legacy Motor Club and that type of thing. So I don't really, not really too in tune with the late model scene and some of the young drivers, to be honest.
And your grandkids live in Florida and you're in North Carolina, so that makes it kind of difficult right there, right?
Trying to figure out the question on that one. So yes, it makes it difficult to see him from a daily basis. Yes, but it's we're not too terribly far away, and we get to get down and see him a fair amount.
Oh, very nice. Now, when you started racing at Slinger, which was right after you graduated from Cambridge High School, Robbie Reiser was the man at Slinger. Now, he had won. Starting to win races regularly. Of course, we had, Al Schill and Conrad Morgan and Lowell Bennett, but Robbie was the youngster that was, in his 20s as those guys were in their 40s, and he was the one pushing those guys until Matt Kenseth suddenly shows up and was good right out of the box. I just would like to know what your relationship was like when you started at Slinger and dealt with Robbie outside of the race car.
Well, I wish somebody would have told me that Robbie was the man before I started there, because then we probably would have got along better right away, because I would have had that natural respect for him right away, and I would have addressed him as the man.
Because I wasn't the man. No. I ran into everybody. I was a kid we just got done talking about.
No, I mean, for sure. There was when I started there was so many great drivers there. I ran Sportsman there, I think, my first year, maybe 2 years. I feel like maybe only 1 year. I ran my Sportsman car there, and I remember I was walking down the fence and watching Robbie race, and all the other guys that you mentioned. So I spent well over a year, besides the races I used to come there and watch for the Nationals and drive over there and watch them when I was a kid and that type of thing. So, I remember going there for the first time in a super late, and it was very intimidating. It's still kind of intimidating to go there at times. It's an intimidating racetrack, and when you watch people, I feel like race when you're younger before you start racing against them, it's always, at least for me, it was always very intimidating. So I remember getting on the track for the first time with Robbie and and with all those guys, and being intimidated and kind of getting ready to roll out for the race and kind of wondering what the heck I'm doing, if I really belong on the track with those guys.
And Robbie, he was good right from the get-go, right?
Oh, yeah. He was very competitive right off the bat, and he had, I said it 1,000 times, Matt's got a special talent, and there was no question that showed right away.
And so here you are, the guy, and all of a sudden here's this kid. Well, of course, even though now, age seems to be kind of relative, it's only a couple of years difference between you. But here's a kid coming in there who doesn't have near the laps you have at Slinger, and all of a sudden he's doing the touch and run on you.
Yeah.
I never ran into Robbie, ever.
See, I told you, Todd, that he was going to lie. I told you he was going to lie in one of his stories, and there it is.
Well, here's the thing that probably is pretty true is Robbie, I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, Robbie, but I feel like he always qualified really, really well there and was always one of the fastest cars at fast time. And I don't feel like, especially when I first started there, that I ever qualified very well there. So I think he probably passed me way, way, way more times as a Slinger than I ever had the opportunity to pass him.
Mm-hmm. Rob, I don't really remember it that way, but maybe you do.
He's being very nice to me.
He is.
It wasn't only at Slinger. It was at Madison and other racetracks that we're talking about here too, because he didn't seem to qualify well at any places when he first started, but he sure got fast after starting in the second or first row. And that was the problem, because a lot of the features were only 30 laps long. So if you were a fast qualifier and you had to start in the back, you had to run and catch a guy at the very end of the race. And that's what always made Madison so dang exciting, because the last 4 laps, everybody, it would be, myself, Refner, Matt, all battling for the win. And it was some great racing back then. And I know there's been a lot of stories made up about me and Matt not getting along. That story has grown like a fish story. It's gotten bigger and bigger. We didn't really necessarily were friends, but we weren't necessarily enemies either. We raced all the time. We raced, sometimes we'd race 4 or 5 nights a week together all the time, and we were always racing for the same goal. So, I mean, your competitors, that's the way it is.
And that's just you two guys. Then there's the Roy Johnny stories. They must have just got along swell.
Well, I'll let Matt tell them stories, because he's better at telling the Roy stories than I am. But it was exciting at times, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if those two always necessarily got along or didn't go along. Robbie might know some of those stories better than me, actually, about the late model days. But the one I always think of with my dad, that's one of Robbie's favorite stories as well, was when Dad almost got Robbie and I kicked out of Rockingham. So that was probably the best Roy story. I always had to calm him down instead of the other way around when I started racing.
Oh, that's fantastic. We're talking with Matt Kenseth and Robbie Reiser. Gentlemen, we're due for another break, believe it or not. They're going to hang in there through one more segment, so we'll ask them some tougher questions than these softballs we've been just throwing at them here. We'll be right back.
Get ready for the return of IndyCar to the Milwaukee Mile.
The NTT Indy IndyCar Series returns to Milwaukee August 30th through September 1st for the Hy-Vee Milwaukee Mile 250s weekend.
Don't miss the first IndyCar event at the historic 1 Mile Oval since 2015, featuring an NTT IndyCar Series doubleheader with races on both Saturday and Sunday. Check out the free fan fun zone with live music, great food, and family fun all weekend long.
Get your tickets now at wistatefair.com and join us for a Labor Day weekend celebration at the Hy-Vee Milwaukee Mile 250s.
This Saturday night is championship night for the late models at the Fair Park in Plymouth. Point standings are close as the season winds down. Also watch the Sprint Cars, Grand Nationals, and V-Mods as they battle on the 3rd Mile Oval. The Fair Park in Plymouth, where the racing is great, the food is awesome, and the covered grandstand. Next Saturday, the Legends and Street Stocks make their only appearance of the season. We'll see you there.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
This is The Herd.
Wow, 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 wow.
With Colin Cowherd.
Yeah. This stuff is so predictable. Everybody's freaking out with Caitlin Clark. Angel Reese is picking on her and hard fouls. Women who have committed flagrant fouls are not all villains. Diana Taurasi had one last year. Is she a villain?
This is The Herd.
Weekdays 3 to 6 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
Welcome back to the 40th season of LTN, joined by Matt Kenseth and Robbie Reiser. And let me start with, first of all, with Matt. Matt, here, when you left Roush to take a ride at Gibbs, there must have been 1,000 things that went through your mind, not the least of which was you and Robbie Reiser were like joined at the hip for a championship, and you knew you were going to be breaking that off. That couldn't have been an easy thing to have gone through, and it must have been one of the things that went through your mind while you were making your decision.
Well, it's not, entirely true because, before I left there, I think I feel like Robbie stepped down from being the crew chief in, I don't remember what year it was now. 2007, Robbie? Is that right?
Yeah, end of 2007.
Yeah, 2007. So Robbie was already into, 5 years of being the general manager. So it's not like we were the crew chief driver, and I was really breaking that off. So, but certainly, Robbie's, especially back then, we spent so much time together. I mean, he was one of my best friends and a confidant, even though we worked together, and I talked to him about many, many things. And he knew some of the internal struggles that I was having with different things that were going on at the company that I wasn't necessarily aligned with, and some people I was working with and things that were going on. So, the first thing I did is when I decided to go do that is I rode my jet ski over to Robbie's house, and him and I sat out on the dock until it was almost too dark to ride home and just kind of talked about the whole thing and about life and, not put words in his mouth. But I think at the end of the day, he understood what I was doing, why I was doing it, and why I really needed to do it for myself. So that's the way I saw that.
Robbie, it seemed to me like it was a difficult time for you having Matt leave.
Well, no doubt. I mean, we went there together and did all the things together, and life was changing for both of us, and the company was changing too. I mean, there was things going on there that weren't in a direction that we're going to support Matt in the long run, and in all honesty, Matt hung on and gave them all the opportunity in the world to keep him there. But I've said this before. At the end, I don't think management wanted him anymore at the end, and I think Matt found a way better place to go and hone his skills and do his thing and win some races, and it was tough because I was in running the shop and taking care of the competition side, but Roush didn't have a management structure like a lot of other teams where there are a lot of other people involved. You were sort of the main guy in the shop, but you were told what to do on a lot of things. So a lot of this I didn't have any involvement in, and I tried to help because obviously I didn't want to work with different set of drivers. I wanted to stay with the drivers that we had, and so I was trying to push along on the competition side to make sure it all stayed together. But in the end, the management structure that they have at Roush, which includes Michigan, decided to go in a different direction, and pretty much just had a grin and bear it. And it was just it was a tough time, and I don't think at the end of the day, I don't think that me and Matt really had a problem. It's just that the reason it feels a little sour is because management was on the other side trying to drag me into a lot of what was going on with Matt, which wasn't fair because I wasn't involved in it from the beginning on the business side of it, and I should have never been involved in it at the end either. And that was kind of my sour taste, and it hurt Matt and my relationship for a little while, only because I didn't explain it right to Matt from the beginning of what I was frustrated with. I was not frustrated with Matt Kenseth. I was frustrated with the management side and the direction that we were going with the company, and being that I was on the competition side, I didn't get an opportunity to be a part of that, but I was always told what to do, and that was very frustrating for me because I just felt that it really hurt my and Matt's relationship because I should not have been involved in the business side at all, and because I never was, and it wasn't really fair at the end. That was a little frustrating for me and Matt, but we worked through that, and we're good. We're good friends, and we I couldn't ask for a better friend.
Excellent.
You hugged it out.
God, you hugged it out. That's really, I didn't realize that Roush had such an ambivalent attitude towards keeping the most accomplished driver they ever had. And, it seems to me that kind of trumps all the rest. If you don't want to keep Matt in the house.
Let me clarify one thing. This is not just done by Jack Roush. He has a management group that handles this. And that, so a lot of reflection goes back to Jack because his name is on the door. But a lot of people that are on the management side, the behind the scenes, were making decisions for Jack. And I think at the end of the day, some of the things that get decided, Jack is not 100% bought in, but he has to go along because that's how he has his company structured.
All right, that makes sense. So now the Wisconsin Short Track Hall of Fame has already Robbie Reiser in it and his dad, Johnny Reiser. But now we're going to be adding a couple of ex-Roush people to the Hall of Fame this year, including Matt Kenseth, Jimmy Fennig, and Nate Hosley. All had ties with Roush Racing. Well, Hosley was a developmental guy there for a couple of years, but Jimmy Fennig joining the same time as Matt Kenseth. How about that?
Yeah, it's quite an honor to get put in the same Hall of Fame that Todd Bailing is in. So it's something I'm looking forward to. And that's,
I didn't even mention my name. I mentioned Robbie's name. It's pretty great, actually.
Matt, I'm just glad they're finally putting you in once. It's been a long time waiting for you to get into this thing.
I know. I was hoping I wasn't going to be dead before they put me in there. So
I damn near was.
I'll tell you something, Todd. Though I'll tell you something, Todd. For the people that don't know Jimmy Fennig, it is really, really awesome that Jimmy's going to go in as as a Wisconsin short track Hall of Famer because the guy bleeds racing. I mean, he is a racer to the end, and he loves it. And for him to get involved and be a part of that, it's just a huge honor. And to know Jimmy Fennig and to be a part of it, he would never ask for any of that. I mean, Matt would tell you the same thing. He just loves going to the racetrack and racing his car and trying to win the race. And that's who Jimmy Fennig is.
He told me he was going to retire after his kid got out of college, and I think that must be about 10 years ago. And he's my age. What the hell is he doing?
He was retiring when I moved from crew chief to general manager. He was retiring then, and that's 20 years ago.
Oh, that's
he tells
great.
He tells the same story. In January, he tells you that he's retiring in June, and in June he tells you he's retiring in January, and that story's been going on for 20 years.
That's a true story.
Go ahead, Matt. Go ahead. Sorry. I'm just getting ready to wrap up with you guys. I appreciate that you did this for us. And we had one of our listeners send us a note. They want to know if you get free DeWalt tools for life.
I don't get anything free for. Go ahead, Robbie.
You should have said that. The answer is yes, of course. Just call DeWalt and let them know that they've been giving us all these free tools.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll tell you, I've had some great partners through the years, and they were certainly, one of the best, if not the best, when we had them. But like everything comes to an end eventually. And one thing I learned real fast when I didn't retire, when I was taking a break, as Robbie would say the first time, is it doesn't take long for everything to get very quiet. Everybody goes in a different direction. They kind of forget about you, and things kind of get broken off and kind of go in a different direction, which you can't really blame people. So, but anyway, no, I don't free DeWalt tools. I don't even think I get a discount anymore.
One thing with the DeWalt management, though, Matt and myself over the years have the management, the company got sold and all that to Black & Decker, but that whole group that was managed part of that DeWalt program took us to the championship. Those people that manage that program still stay in touch with us to this day. I still get every once in a while they'll send you something or call you out of the clear blue. They always stay in touch with us, and it was a really special relationship with those people.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that was a great team and a great group that they had back then for sure. Just couldn't, as Robbie said, you couldn't really find more solid people. I remember I'll never forget the first time they came and met with Robbie and I and John and the whole group at Riser Enterprise when they first came on the Xfinity car. So we got a lot of funny stories, a lot of great memories from having DeWalt in the car for sure.
We even broke an office chair when the guy fell off the cheap office chairs my dad had in there, and they tipped over and fell on the floor, but he still signed the deal with us. That's a short story.
That's fantastic. Matt, our friends from Madison, Matt Body, the announcer, reminded me Robbie won the 1993 track championship and Matt won the 1994 track championship at Madison. And so
why he won the 94 championship, right?
What's that?
You do know why he won the 94 championship, right?
Because he had
I
a
wasn't
lot
there
of wins.
anymore. I had to move away for him to win that. And that's a home track. Just remember that.
You had to pave the way for Matt to come down and be a NASCAR Hall of Famer. How's that?
Yeah, that's
that was
what
nice of Robbie to open it up for me.
Thanks to both of you guys. We love you.
It was all a long-term
we
plan.
certainly appreciate you being on with us today. Gents, hope to talk to you soon. I'll be texting you when you least expect it. Matt Kenseth and Robbie Riser from their homes in North Carolina. We got to go, boys. We're late. LTN
The summer
return.
heat is on, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to EnviroMulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
The NASCAR playoffs begin Sunday, August 25th at the historic Milwaukee Mile. Tickets are on sale now for the Lion the 175 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race. Witness Wisconsin's own Ty Majeski and defending Milwaukee race winner Grant Enfinger race for it all. The Sunday, August 25th NASCAR doubleheader kicks off with the Sprecher 150 ARCA Menard Series at high noon. Tickets start at $40. Kids 12 and under are free. It's NASCAR playoffs time in Milwaukee. Visit MilwaukeeMileRacing.com to get your tickets today.
This is Two Pros and a Cup of Joe.
Yeah, baby. Mike McCarthy is getting fed up with Jerry Jones and the influence there that he's got in Dallas.
This is self-preservation. If it's coming from the Jones side, you're trying to find a way to move on if this team underperforms.
Two Pros, LeVar Arrington, Brady Quinn, and a Cup of Joe, Jonas Knox.
Weekday mornings 5 to 8 a.m. on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
And now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
Another busy week of dirt track racing across the country will start Monday night. Wilmot was supposed to host the World of Outlaw late models, but that event did rain out, and they are looking for a date to reschedule that. So stay tuned for a rescheduled date. Tuesday night at Beaver Dam in the IMCA Modifieds, Brandon Schmidt was your winner. Stock cars went to Jeremy Christians. Up at Eagle River in the limited lates, Dave Bennett was your winner. That is a relation to Lowell Bennett. I believe that's one of his sons, I believe. The stock cars was Dave Blackberg. Superior, Wisconsin, Gondik Law Speedway for the fair special for the Wissota late models. Pat Dorr was your winner, and the Wissota Modifieds was Darrell Nelson. Rice Lake had the 39th annual Little Dream. We don't talk about street stocks, but when there's $30,000 on the line for a street stock winner, we will talk about it. And Cody Coomer was your winner after the original winner was disqualified for an illegal car. So, yes, in dirt track racing, they disqualify winners as well. It's not just Lawrenceburg, Indiana, Tuesday night for the USAC Amsoil National Sprint Cars, Indiana Sprint Week. Logan Seavey was your winner. Wednesday in Indianapolis, Indiana at the Circle City Raceway, another night of Indiana Sprint Week feature action. Logan Seavey continued his dominance, winning there again. Thursday night, Cedar Lake was supposed to kick off the USA Nationals for the World of Outlaw Case Construction late models. That event rained out. They're going to run they ran a double header on Friday. Terre Haute, Indiana for the USAC Amsoil National Sprint Car Series. Brady Bacon was your winner. And in Knoxville, Iowa, Thursday, the Knoxville 360 Nationals kicked off. Caleb Johnson was the preliminary feature. Friday night at Chilton Gravity Park, the modifieds, Matt Klintz. Grand Nationals was Jeff Richards, and the stock cars was Mitch Meyer. Seymour, the Outagamie County Speedway, the late models, Taylor Scheffler was your winner. Modifieds, Danielle Wilcox, and the stock cars was Chase Parker. Over at Luxembourg, the Luxie Raceway, and the modifieds, Benji Lacrosse was your winner. Stock cars went to Tyler Wilson. Fountain City, Wisconsin, the Mississippi Thunder Speedway, and the USRA modifieds, Josh Anks was your winner. The limited lates went to Brad Waits. Over at Darlington, the Lafayette County Speedway, the limited lates went to Ty Webster. The modifieds, Jed Freeberger, and the stock cars was Jeff Larson. Jim Falls, the Eagle Valley Speedway, the Wissota Modifieds, Mike Anderson. Limited late models was Cade Nelson. At New Richmond, Wisconsin, Cedar Lake Speedway, the World of Outlaw Case Construction late models had two $6,000 to win features for the late models. Bobby Pierce was your winner of the one of them, and Ryan Gustin won the other one. The Cedar Lake late models, Nick Panetsky was one winner, and Sane Edgington won the other one. Knoxville 360 Nationals, night number 2, went to Sam Haferteeth Jr. Peevely, Missouri, the I-55 Speedway Friday night for the World of Outlaw NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Series. Kyle Larson started 21st in that feature, a 30-lap feature, and drove to the win on a last corner, last lap pass. You have got to see the highlights of that race if you get a chance to see it. It was impressive. And
it was.
He has not had the greatest season, but holy cow, he's coming on strong.
It was the
now.
farthest back anybody won an outlaw race since Donnie Schatz won the Nationals in 2013, and I was at that one, and that was impressive.
Wow. Yes. Just when you think the guy it's like the sleeping bear, and they woke him up. Last night at Plymouth in the MSA 360 Sprints, Joseph Hinz got his first career 360 Sprint Car feature win, and the Grand Nationals went to Nick Schumacher. Sycamore, Illinois, the Badger Midgets, Todd Cleaver was your winner. Francis Crick, Wisconsin, the 141 Speedway, the Dirt Kings Late Model Series, Diamond 46, their crown jewel event, $4,600 to win, and Jaden Schmidt, who won his first late model race the week before at Seymour, picked up his second win, and he passed some heavy hitters. Passed Brad Miller, passed Taylor Scheffler, passed Mike Mullen to win that race. So he did not back himself into that. That is an impressive win for that young kid. The IMCA Stock Cars, Luke Lemons was your winner, and the Grand Nationals was Dan Schumacher. Up at Shawano, the late models, Ron Berna was your winner. Modifieds, Kevin Feck. Stock Cars, Travis Van Stratton. Wilmot, the IRA Wingless Sprints, Trinity Utek. That's Dave Utek's daughter, I believe. Got the win in that one. The 604 Wing Sprints went to Tommy Sexton, and the mod was Steve Miller. Cedar Lake Speedway, the 37th Annual USA Nationals, $50,000 to win for the Case Construction World of Outlaw late models. They were up against it because there was big storms beating down. They started an hour and a half early. They got the feature going, and Bobby Pierce was leading on lap 46, or they had 46 laps to go. So lap 54, when the heavens opened up and cut the race short, disappointing because Dustin Sorensen, who has not won a World of Outlaw late model race, was coming in a hurry, and I think in a matter of laps, it would have been a heck of a race. But nonetheless, Bobby Pierce continues his domination of the World of Outlaws, winning another $50,000. The Cedar Lake late model, Sammy Mars was your winner. Hopstad, Indiana, Tri-State Speedway for another round of Indiana Sprint Week. Justin Grant was your winner. The Knoxville 360 Nationals, $30,000 to win for the ASCS 360 Sprints. Tyler Courtney put a 360 motor in his car, as the Knoxville Nationals are next week, so a lot of guys were there running 360 races and picked up the win there. And finally, in Peabody, Missouri, the World of Outlaw NOS Engineering Sprint Car Series, the Ironman 55. So Kyle Larson started 12th last night, had 55 laps to do it, no problem. He picked up another win and swept the weekend at Peabody, Missouri. Don't look now, Kyle Larson is getting hot as the Knoxville Nationals approach next week, so it should be good.
Before we get to the paved stuff, I think we're going to sneak away for a break. We ran a little late with Matt and Robbie, so we'll be right back with some paved stuff.
Get ready for the return of IndyCar to the Milwaukee Mile.
The NTT IndyCar Series returns to Milwaukee August 30th through September 1st for the Hy-Vee Milwaukee Mile 250s weekend.
Don't miss the first IndyCar event at the historic 1 Mile Oval since 2015, featuring an NTT IndyCar Series doubleheader with races on both Saturday and Sunday. Check out the free fan fun zone with live music, great food, and family fun all weekend long.
Get your tickets now at wistatefair.com and join us for a Labor Day weekend celebration at the Hy-Vee Milwaukee Mile 250s.
This Saturday night is championship night for the late models at the Fair Park in Plymouth. Point standings are close as the season winds down. Also watch the Sprint Cars, Grand Nationals, and V-Mods as they battle on the 3rd Mile Oval. The Fair Park in Plymouth, where the racing is great, the food is awesome, and the covered grandstand. Next Saturday, the Legends and Street Stocks make their only appearance of the season. We'll see you there.
This is The Herd.
Wow, 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 wow.
With Colin Cowherd.
If you want to see the Caitlin Clark effect, here it is. Bad team, small market, and they are worth more, the Indiana Fever, than the Los Angeles Sparks, the Dallas, Atlanta, Washington teams, and almost equal to a team in Chicago.
This is The Herd.
Weekdays 3 to 6 on the Big 920 and your iHeartRadio app.
And PJ, ready with some results.
Yes, from the asphalt side of things, Slinger ended up getting rained out last weekend, and then Thursday at Kaukauna also rained out. However, the Midwest Tour will be there this coming Tuesday for the Dixieland 250, or now the Ganrud Auto Group 250. Friday night in Norway Speedway, Joey Pontbriand was the winner in the Superlights there. Madison Speedway also ran on Friday night. The Big 8 Series, Michael Bilderback picked up the win. Arca Menard Series was at the Elko Speedway last night. William Sawalich won in a wild 3-wide finish where all 3 of them were sideways and making contact.
Slobber knock, right?
Yes.
Thanks for doing it for me. I'm sitting here watching it with 67 laps to go. Thanks a lot.
It was nuts. It really was. For Grundy County Speedway last night, Super Late Models in action. Max Kaler was your winner there. Also last night, the Dells Raceway Park had a big program. Late model feature was Nick Nolden. Modifieds was Dan Howard. And then they ran a second feature for the Modifieds, and that was Jerry Blystone. Todd, you were there. Good run by Penn Sauter. No?
No, I was not. I'm working at Slinger.
Oh, I thought you were there. Okay. All right. Lacrosse Speedway last night, double features. Mike Carlson won the first. Nick Clements won the second. Marshfield Motor Speedway, the CWRA late models in action. Derek Van Driel was both fast time and the feature win there. And then the JEGS CRA All-Stars are at the Owasso Speedway for the Masters of the Pros. Dawson Sutton was your winner. He was also the one that won at Milwaukee Mile when the ASA Stars Tour was there. But it was quite another 3-wide finish. Barrett Polhamus, who's been working with Casey Johnson over the years, he was battling Sutton for the lead. On the final lap, Billy Van Meter makes it 3-wide, pushing Polhamus up into Sutton. Van Meter, P2, Polhamus, P3, and it was Dawson Sutton then picking up that win. Another slobber knocker.
It seems to be the rule rather than the exception these days.
Yeah, these days, yeah.
The Super Late return to Slinger Speedway tonight. It seems like it's been a while since we've had super lates at Slinger. It's the Carl Wegner Memorial, which is a pretty big deal for a lot of guys whose careers were touched by the great Carl Wegner, the great late Carl Wegner. And, we don't talk much about it, I guess, but Carl was also our benefactor here on this program. Back in the day when we made an attempt to syndicate the program and take it nationwide. The problem was we didn't have anybody full time to do that. We had a mailman and a police department guy and a wheel salesman that were all, trying to do it around their day jobs, and it just didn't kind of work for us. But Carl Wegner helped us by investing in the idea so we could buy all of our own equipment and do it away from a radio station, do it the way we still do it today, as a matter of fact, that we're not actually at the WOKY studios in Greenfield. We're doing it wherever we just happen to be. And Carl was instrumental in helping us get off the ground, and he means a lot to us here too. So, and the 602 late models will be there too tonight, which means Dennis Prunty is going to pull double duty tonight in both of his late models. So,
and the supers are $3,000 to win, $600 to start because of Wegner Automotive. That's
awesome, and a custom trophy provided by the folks at Wegner. So it's a big night for many folks in the racing business at Slinger Speedway. All right, so a couple other little notes we have for you. A guy whose name I never knew or saw before, J.F. Thorman. Who's he? He's some side of a big wig at Andretti Global. He mentioned that they are in the exploratory phase of expansion into NASCAR. In other words, where are they going to get one of those fabulous charters that we don't know are even going to exist next year? And so that you can't really be much more than exploratory at this point. But either way, we kind of heard about this. We'll see what they're going to do. And we mentioned Daniel Suarez and his now wife, Julia Piquet, which is Nelson Piquet's daughter, were married on July 30th. This week, Tyler Reddick and his wife, Alexa, I should say it quieter, this thing is going to talk to me here, were married this week in Lake Geneva, and Wisconsin, not, Switzerland. I don't know if you saw stories of it, but who had the bigger high heels on, Tyler or Alexa? He had to kind of tilt his head back to be able to kiss the bride. Pretty hilarious. Congratulations to those two. I can't say much about it. My daughter, the Master Chief in the Navy, she's 6 feet tall, and her Icelandic husband is about 6 inches shorter than she is. So we have experience with that in our family. So it's pretty funny stuff. And congratulations to them. All right. This whole Olympic thing, which I certainly hope everyone is watching, I don't know why, will be over next week, Sunday afternoon, which means the next race is coming up a week from tonight after the closing ceremonies. Richmond is going to be Sunday night next week, believe it or not. So, Dan, I haven't seen you for a while at Slinger. Looks like we're going to run into each other tonight, huh?
Good time, yeah. Good to have you back up there.
All right, outstanding. And Dean and I will take our regular places. Thanks to everybody, and especially thanks to Matt and Robbie for making a half an hour time with us on a Sunday morning. That's unbelievable and spectacular, and we love those guys, always will. And as we want you to remember, real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta. Our in-house engineer is Matt Losey, and for all of us involved with the program, we appreciating you tuning in, not just today, but every week. See you next week.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations via Skype. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.